Hello and welcome to the channel of Absolute Quality. Today is the first day that I'm bringing in How to Crucible. Okay? We've got an entire series that I have come up with, and I'm going to be proceeding through. Throughout the Crucible, there's going to be a whole bunch of tips, hints, and tricks to how you can better your gameplay and get really good at the Crucible and kill anyone whenever you want, okay? I'm going to be testing, perfecting everything. So whether it's movement, which is today's video, whether it's gun choices, whether it's super choices and when to use them, maps, how to play maps and modes and all that stuff. So I'm going to go through literally everything you could possibly imagine and want to imagine, okay? So these videos, I will remind you every time, these videos are created for educational annihilation. Alright, first video, movement. So the first thing I really want to talk about is team grouping. So when you spawn right off the map, does everyone just sprint off in their own separate way? That is not how you want to deal with things. So if you're playing by yourself or you're playing with two people, always try to pick someone and just follow. It doesn't have to be the same person every time you spawn in, but just pick someone to follow because, you know, when you're in a 2v1 situation, you're always going to win compared to you being in a 1v2, v3 situation. You know, you're going to get melted if you don't have someone else shooting at the same guy or shooting at the guys that could be trading off, you know. So you always want to be in a group, but when you're in the group, don't stack. So what I mean by stacking is don't get behind him. Stay to the right of him, to the left of him, you know, kind of catty corner, you know, like how motorcycles drive on the road. One's up on the left side and then one's on the right side, but he's not in the same level, he's just back a little bit, you know. Kind of keep that kind of rotational going because you don't want to obviously be behind him, because if that guy's shooting and he has like a heavy weapon or something, he's going to kill both of you with one bullet. Fantastic. Fusion rifles for the win. But next we'll move on to strafing. So strafing, if you don't know how to strafe, I will tell you right now, when you are shooting, when you are aimed in, so you've got your left index finger or your middle finger, whatever one you use to hold the aim in button. So you're aiming and then you're shooting. Well, with your left thumbstick, that's the one that you use to move, you know, move. Use that and literally just keep hitting it back and forth while you're shooting. It actually causes your man to move side to side, but it's actually not really hard to shoot while doing that, and you're not moving very much, but you're moving just enough so that, say, maybe a sniper rifle bullet, they're not going to be able to actually aim on you because you're actually moving the whole time. So strafing is a must. I don't know if I'll show it in this video, but I should, because obviously that would make sense if you knew how to do it, if I showed you how to do it and if you didn't know. So I'll try to put that in the video. I don't know if I'll get it. I might have to make another recording of gameplay to do such a thing. So obviously strafe away, do the strafes. And then let's talk about pace. So pace while you're playing, when your movement, it depends on the type of weapon, so I'm not really going to get in super deep on pace, but just try to learn what you like to do. Do you like to literally run into the action? If you like to run in the action, you probably want a faster gun that shoots a lot faster and it handles at close range, but you probably want to be moving across the map faster. Your sensitivities probably want to be higher, but if you do want to play a slower pace, your sensitivity really doesn't matter at that point. Playing at a slower pace, but it does help with the rest of these. So playing at like a slow medium pace is probably one of the best paces I've kind of designed, because if you go too fast you get caught off guard and out in the middle of the open, but if you play slow medium and with your teammates, it's going to be a whole lot easier to get behind cover if a situation were to arise that would be a very difficult situation for you. Yes. Slow medium pace, I would say that's probably the best pace to run around the map and not get caught in the middle of the open and then get shot by 3 people at the same time. Then let's also talk about running away. Yeah, if you find yourself in a situation that causes probably death, run. Okay, I don't see a whole lot of people ever do this. Or actually, I do see I see a lot of people do it, and I see not a lot of people do it. So there's like a half and half split. if you're in a really bad situation and you know it's bad, like you sense it, like it's in your gut, like you got that Destiny Crucible feeling, and you're just like, I'm gonna get melted around this corner. Run. Just run away. Just run back to your teammates, regroup. You don't have to always fight in situations. You don't always have to move forward. It's kind of like the game of soccer. You never always move forward. There's always a pass backwards. So just run backwards. You know, resituate yourself. Maybe gain health. Maybe do, you know, always just be cognizant of what's happening so that you know when to run away. Because sometimes you can run away and actually survive a whole lot of stuff. That's how I actually get a lot of streaks going on my thing. It's not necessarily that I am just an ungodly murderer in the game. I just run away sometimes when I need to run away, and that's how that keeps the good old KD going. Okay, constant radar peeking. If you're not looking at your radar all the time, you're probably going to be losing a lot of gunfights. Obviously, the radar is something that you need to look at while you're going through. Try not to scope in all the time, because that does delete it, unless you have the Might of multi-tool, and then you can go ahead and, you know, scope in, and then you've got your radar active the whole time. So mainly just always peek it. Never, you know, if you see a guy on there, always peek it. But if you are going to be, if you know this guy's getting closer to you, go ahead and get posted up, you know. Always just keep peeking it though. Always, you know, it's easy, it's right there, why not use it? Shoulder peeking. Shoulder peeking. Okay, I do this a lot. A lot of people, a lot of pros do this in Call of Duty, in, I would assume, CSGO as well. It's where you're around a corner, and you know people are over there. You just literally pop out of the corner and pop right back, just to know where they are. All right, and this is a very, very good solution to camping problems with the other team. So what you can do is you can shoulder peek, right? And they'll see you. And so they'll shoot in your direction, but they're not going to hit you, they're not going to kill you specifically, because you're going right behind the corner again. You're not challenging anything, you're just shoulder peeking it, and then you're running away. So the main thing that you can do with this is, if you shoulder peek and you see where they are, you can obviously get a better position. So instead of going the way that you were going to go and you're going to get melted, you can maybe try to flank around, or say your teammate's coming, so you see your teammate, he's flanking around already. So what you want to do is keep shoulder peeking until he engages. And once he engages, then you can go ahead and fully engage, or keep shoulder peeking if you want. I don't know. You can shoulder peek, shoot, you know. Just always use your corners to your advantage, especially if you have campers in this situation. Going off the shoulder peek and the corners, always use cover, no matter what. In Destiny 2, there are a lot of spots where you can actually get cover out in the open, or just, you know, through hallways and stuff. They've built the map so that there are places where you can take cover and then get up from and shoot. So if you're a Titan, you obviously want the shooting wall. You don't really want the big wall. I mean, there's cases you could argue if you want the big wall, but use the smaller wall just because it's easier, and then your teammates can also get under it too if the situation it asks for it. But the Titan small wall is really nice, and then any cover is really nice. So when you're moving around the map, just make sure of where you are. Kind of physically remind yourself where you are at all times, because gunfights can happen everywhere, right? So you want to make sure that there's somewhere that you can get to, that while you're fighting you can get to. Say you're losing this fight and you're behind the corner, so you're fine. Or you're behind some cover, you're fine. You regain health and then you win the gunfight, right? You don't want to make yourself get bad positioning and out in the open, and then realize that the cover that you need to get is 15 yards away from your character, and that is plenty of distance for the enemy to absolutely melt you. So I recommend realizing your position and always looking for cover to use, because cover is actually one of the best ways in this Destiny 2. Now with the higher time to kill, it's a whole lot easier to get kills and to survive encounters a lot of the times. So probably what you want to do. Definitely the easiest thing to do is find cover, so you want to do that. So Also, understand, you don't have to super understand how the spawns work. Just kind of get a brief, idea of how the spawns work. It really makes the game a lot easier and a lot faster paced when you know where the enemy is going to be spawning, and so that when you're rotating with your team, say, hey, we're going up to this domination. Say you're going up to this flag, it's the enemy flag, but you've cleared out this area enough, you know that they're going to be spawning on the other side of the map, you can go ahead and pick it up without any problem. Or you're on this side of the map and your teammates have killed people on the top side of the map and you're kind of in the middle somewhere, you know that you're about to get spawned on, and you need to make sure that you're kind of in a position where you can either get out of the place or you can group up with your teammates, because if you're clearing teams off spawn, they're gonna all spawn at the same spot, and 1v4 is not so great in Destiny 2, just saying. But yeah, always kind of understand how the spawns work. Just it literally, if you're on one side, they're gonna be spawning on the other. So that's literally one of the things that you want to kind of just keep in your head a little bit. And then the last thing I have for movement is sprint some. Not a lot. Again, with the gunfights happening all the time, you really don't have a whole lot of time to sprint. And sprinting, obviously, it lessens the time that you have to get your gun on someone else, but when you're sprinting and you see even the slightest sliver of red pop onto your radar, that's the time to stop. You can sprint to get places, but don't sprint during battle, right? Unless you're trying to get behind cover. Once you're in battle and stuff and you're there, you'll know when to sprint and when to jump and all that stuff. It's just when you're getting close to a battle, you know that's going to happen. Find positioning. Don't try to sprint at them, right? You're going to want to find positioning all the time, because that's the easiest thing to do. You're literally in this place, you're in a hallway, say, and there's a box, you get behind the box, you see the guy coming, he comes, you just kill him, easily. Or he goes around because he shoulder peeked it. It's just, in Destiny 2 now with Crucible, it's about really getting tactical advantage over the person and hitting your shots. So movement helps, so always getting behind cover, team grouping, strafing, running your pace, running away, looking at your radar, shoulder peeking, using cover, and understanding how the spawns work, sprinting. You know that the game is not super fast paced now anymore, because you need to kind of stay with your team, because obviously the time to kill, I've said this already, but the time to kill is higher, so it is a little bit harder to kill people. So it's not as easy as in the Destiny 1, where you were able to 2v1 a whole lot of people because it was a 3-shot headshot with a thorn or something, or easily killable with the miter tool, right? 3-shot headshot. It's not like that anymore. So you're gonna have to work around these situations. And so these situations, I hope you guys enjoyed, hope you guys learned a little bit. That's all I got for today, so thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button, and I'll see you later.